Hi, this is Papa G and welcome to Papa Can Cook. Today, actually, and tomorrow, we're going to be making Sunday sauce. Sunday sauce is an Italian-American traditional meal usually served on Sunday, although in this case, I'm going to be making it to serve on Saturday to celebrate Marion's birthday with our family. It's complicated. There are three things that are going to go into it, which are made separately. I'm going to be making braciole, beef braciole, and I'm going to be making the meatballs that will go in the sauce, and then the sauce itself. So I'm going to split this into three sections, three videos. I'll start out with the braciole. So the meat that is used for the braciole is a flank steak. That's the best. Don't use other cuts. I'm going to be butterflying this and then pounding it out flat, and I'll show you how I do that in a little while. I have a little bit of salt pork, which I'm only going to use. I'm going to take the rind off and use what's left, and it's not that much of it that I'll be using. It's going to include some prosciutto. I have prosciutto. I checked that this is gluten-free. I'm going to make. It needs some pesto. Now this is homemade. I made this at the end of the summer from basil in my garden. It does not have any cheese in it. And what I do is I make up the basil with the garlic and the olive oil in a chopper, and then I put it in an ice cube tray and freeze it. And then I take them out, and once they're frozen, I pop them out and put them in a plastic bag, and I store them that way. And then I could have pesto with pasta at any time. And in this case, I'm going to need this as part of this recipe. It's going to include some chopped parsley, garlic, and cheese. Since I'm making this gluten-free, I'm using the dairy-free Parmesan. Since I'm making it dairy-free, I'm using this, which is dairy-free. If you're not worried about dairy, then just use regular Parmesan cheese. And of course, there's going to be salt and pepper in there for seasoning. Okay, that's it. That's what goes into the braciole. That's what I'm going to focus on in this video, and I'll be back to show you how we make it. Okay, I'm going to start out with butterflying the flank steak. I've rolled it out, taken it out of the package, rolled it out. I'm going to basically cut it in half. Make sure the knife, you want a long, thin knife to be able to go through this. And I'm going to start at one edge. Let me move this closer to the edge. And very carefully cut it halfway. And I'm going to work right through to the other end, and I'll have two pieces, and I'll be back then. Okay, I finished slicing that basically in half. What I'm going to do is take some plastic wrap and cover it, and then I'm going to pound it out. This is fairly thin, so I'm not going to have to do too much pounding. I have my mallet. This area is a little thicker. Okay, and then once that's done, then I'm going to set it aside. I'll set the pieces aside, and I'll show you how I make the braciole itself. Okay, using a small chopper, I'm going to take the garlic. I just smashed the garlic. The salt pork, I removed the rind, and I measured out the desired amount. The rest of it, I'm going to put in a vacuum sealed bag and freeze for use at another time. Parsley. Actually, I'm going to let this combine a little bit first. I would start, just use as much olive oil as you need. It's going to be at least a couple of tablespoons until you can get a nice paste. additives. That's good. I'm going to add parsley in here now. Some more olive oil. A little more parsley and a little more olive oil. You want to make this into a spreadable paste. I've taken the pesto that I had to defrost it because it was frozen. Added to it the cheese. Of course, I'm using a dairy-free Parmesan. If dairy is not an issue, then use regular cheese, Parmesan cheese. And I've added the what I had previously pureed, from the salt pork, the garlic, and the parsley and olive oil into a bowl. And this is going to be the filling. Plus a couple of other things that I'm going to add. So I'm going to take the beef that I had cut in half, and this is one of the pieces. So this will be one of the braciole. And I'm going to arrange it so I'll be able to roll it nicely. And I'm going to pick an end. So I'm going to make this the end. Actually, I'm going to make this the finishing end. So I'm going to start on this side, and oops. Okay, spread filling out on this. I actually ended up with 3 pieces, so I'm going to be making 3 of the braciole. I'll leave a space at the edge so you don't have this filling all over the place when you go to cook it. And you want to leave about an inch at the end that you're going to finish with. Okay, now on top of that, I'm going to put prosciutto. Some recipes call for this to be chopped in with some of the other ingredients. I prefer to keep it whole. So I'm going to put 2 slices of prosciutto. That'll cover it. And now these are optional ingredients. I'm adding pinoli. My mother always used to put pinoli and raisins. We have one family member that doesn't like raisins, so I'm not going to use it. But I am going to use the pinoli, and these I did get from the health food store, and they are gluten-free. And then I'm going to take this and start rolling it, gathering it as I roll it. nice roll. Okay, when I get to the end with the seam side down, I'm then going to take some butcher's twine, which I have here, and I'm going to tie it off every couple of inches. Start at the end here. So it'll hold together when I go to cook it. So I'll do that every maybe inch and a half, something like that. And then that will be one of the braciole. And I'll make up the other two. And then when I'm ready to start cooking them, I'll be back. This actually made 3 nice size braciole. What I'm going to do now, I have some light olive oil heating in the pan. I'm going to brown these on all the way around. I have it on medium heat. So I'm going to let these brown, and then what I'm going to do is, since I'm making the sauce tomorrow, I'm going to take these, let them cool a little bit, and I'm going to wrap them in plastic individually and put them in the refrigerator. The other thing that you can do, like in this case here, I don't know if I'm going to make all 3. I may only make 2. And the third one, after it's been in the refrigerator, cool down a bit, I'm going to then put it in a vacuum sealed bag, or you could use a Ziploc, just get all the air out of it, and freeze it. And then you can defrost it and use it in the future with another Sunday sauce meal. So I'm gonna let these brown. I'm gonna make sure they brown all the way around. And then I'm gonna take them out and let them cool down a little bit. That'll be it for the braciole. On the next episode, part 2 will be making the meatballs. And then part 3, we'll put all the ingredients together and make the Sunday sauce. See you later.